What's going on, everybody? My name is Kevin Britton. I am the host of the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive, and you are now watching the Combo Show live, where we talk Chiefs and Royals all in one sitting. If you are a Chiefs fan, make sure you check out the 12th Man every Sunday and every Wednesday right here on Stadium Drive Sports. Hey, Sean, go ahead and let them know.
Hey, what's going on? I've got all your Royals coverage every Monday and Thursday on the Royal Way here on Stadium Drive Sports. You can obviously catch the combination show of us right here live.
And Combo Show at 8 p.m. Central Time every Tuesday.
And also look forward to the debut of Fantasize This on Fridays, where we talk about all your fantasy football stuff. That's going to be fun as well.
And that will be coming to you guys. We'll be kicking that off in May. But we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will hop right into it here in just a moment for you guys. All right, guys, before we get jumping into this one, if you guys are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And if you guys do like the content, go ahead and like the video. That way we know you guys enjoy what we're doing here at Stadium Drive Sports. And feel free to share this on your social media as well. We want to continue to grow the 12th Man fam for the Chiefs and continue to grow the Royal Empire as well for the Royal Way. So, again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Sean, how's your day going so far?
It's going great. Weather's getting better. It's a lot better than it was on opening day. It was only 44 degrees that day. Yeah, it felt a lot colder with the wind, but I'm glad that we got the win in the end. So,
yeah, absolutely. Greinke had a pretty good day that day. Started it off right. Went with the no decision, I believe, but he had a good day. He looked good.
Yeah, 5 2/3 innings. Got himself some strikeouts. Limit his big hits. He only gave up about a double. That was an RBI that scored his only run that he gave up. So all in all, we'll take it, and that's kind of what we expect from Greinke is about 6 innings of good work, and that's exactly what he gave us.
Yeah, absolutely. So that opening series for the Royals against the Guardians, I have to get used to that new name, the Guardians. So we split the series 2-2, right?
Yep. Split it up 2-2. We had the first 2 and then got the last 2.
Gotcha. I know. I was looking over stats. I'm in Salt Lake. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm originally from Kansas City. Moved out to Salt Lake in 2016. So I don't get a lot of games out here. But I also have been seeing on social media that you guys in Kansas City aren't getting a lot of games televised either.
Nope. It's all about whether or not you can stream it with your provider. And they'll tell you, Bally Sports. Everybody wants to boycott them or whatever. But Bally Sports will tell you, hey, we're available on all your cable providers, and we're able to be streamed and whatnot. So it's kind of a runaround getting there. It's just not as easy as just turning it on channel 59 and going to Kansas City Sports Network back in the day.
Right.
But, you've always got the radio with Danny Matthews, as I say, and it's at least you got that for the car. But and you've got your MLB apps on your phone, but it's just not the same as sitting down in your living room and having it on your big screen TV or in your man cave. It's real difficult. But they're saying that they'll get this all worked out later in the end. They've got these packages, and some of their main games come up later in the season. So they're kind of sacrificing April. They know that it's kind of down in attendance in the stands. So they're knowing that they're subject to blackout in that manner, so they're getting past those first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. Once we get rolling, weather gets better, we're going to get more fans in the stadium, and the Royals games will be more available on your TV.
That'll be good. Can't wait for that to happen. I know a lot of people want to be able to watch the games, but can't always get out to a game, so hopefully they get that taken care of. I was looking at stats, though, and you probably know who immediately jumped out to me in the stat book, and that's Benintendi.
Absolutely. 7 hits, 1 home run there at the end, just to cap it off. But 538 average. So
crushing, 538. And he's walked 3 times on top of that.
Yeah, and that's what we look for, and we didn't see like any of that in Game 3 when we got stomped. We've got to take our patience at the plate and get those walks. We had about 6 or 7 strikeouts and only about 1 walk, and so we need to reverse those numbers and try to get about 4 or 5, 6 walks and only 1 or 2 strikeouts. But yeah,
Right.
those strikeouts are piling up.
For anybody that doesn't know much about Benintendi, like obviously he's not going to keep up this kind of pace, but he was thought, coming into the league that he was going to be able to produce at a high clip. He was a first round draft pick in 2015 by the Red Sox, and he got called up in 2016. I mean, he's only 27 years old, so he's still younger in age for an MLB player, being in his first few years. So this is kind of what was expected that he would be able to produce. So hopefully he can keep up the production. Again, he's not going to keep up a 538 batting average, but I think he's a guy that should be teetering around that 300 mark based on first round draft pick and the talent that obviously a lot of teams saw in him.
Yeah, and that's all you can ask for in a ball player is your production at the plate and your performance in the outfield. If you're playing left field, and he does, and he did the best in the American League, earning a Gold Glove along with Michael A. Taylor in center field. So that was pretty impressive on his part there. And he made a really cool catch there on the foul line there at the wall and just timed it perfect and jumped to catch one the other day. Not too sure what game it was. It was game 2 or game 3, but yeah, it was pretty impressive to see his Gold Glove just shining already in 2022.
Agreed. And then Nicky Lopez, my pick for the best batting average at the All-Star break when we did a little bit of our pick'ems there.
Yep,
Lopez is at a 400 right now batting average, so he's starting off the year pretty hot as well.
Yeah.
We'll see if both those guys can kind of lead from the front with this batting average while some of the other guys kind of get up and going. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that Benintendi home run is the only home run we have so far in 4 games until today.
Until today when Salvi hit one. He got kind of out of his little hitting slump. I believe he was about at least 0 for 12, maybe 0 for 13 before he got that hit in that last game to finally crack the ice on that. But he got that good home run, and hopefully that just gets him energized and ready to go.
Get him going.
As well as the other players. So,
right.
He's our captain. So
right now he's 1 for 2 today with that home run. He's at a 167 batting average so far for the season. Again, we're only a few games in. It takes one good game and your batting average just skyrockets because of how early we are. But for anybody wondering, right now the Royals, it is the bottom of the 5th in the I-70 series. They are playing at St. Louis, and St. Louis is currently up 6-3, and looks like as of right now we are moving into the bottom of the 5th right now. So I'll try to keep you guys updated a little bit kind of as we go here today with what's going on the game right now. Now, on the Chiefs side of things, Sean, I'll be up front with you. Chiefs haven't made any moves anytime recently, and there is not a lot of news going on with the Chiefs. Now, we are coming up on the draft. The draft's only a couple of weeks away at this point. So I did want to kind of talk with you a little bit about kind of positions of need. We've talked about this before, but a lot of moves have happened since last time we talked about that. So let me lay out a few of the positions of need and what players we currently have at those positions. And then I just kind of like to get your feedback in which position you think should be like our main target going into the draft. You cool with that?
Oh, absolutely. Let's go.
All right. So I have a few different positions here to look at. Looks like 5 different positions that I think we really need a contributor at. First off, defensive end. Right now, our main players at defensive end are Frank Clark, Mike Dana, and Joshua Kando. Kando obviously was hurt basically all of last year as a rookie, so it'd really be our first real look at him this year.
Yeah, and he's a big guy. So.
Yeah, linebacker, we have Nick Bolton and Willie Gay, and then we also have Jermaine Carter Jr., who I think he's more of that like 4th linebacker type, not necessarily that starting 3rd linebacker. Cornerback, we have Sneed, Fenton, and Baker. Beyond that, it's just some guys that were on the practice squad last year, like Boodle and Zane Anderson.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, we have Juju, Hardman, and MVS. They're really our main receivers at this point. And then safety, we have Thornhill, Reed, and then we signed Deion Bush, who he's kind of a third or fourth type of safety. So we may want to kind of upgrade that third spot to fill that old Dan Sorensen role. So we have defensive end, linebacker, corner, receiver, safety. Care to kind of rank those in your hierarchy of need?
Yeah, I jumped on a ranking real early, was that defensive end position, and that's what everybody seems to be talking about. And, they even put out a name that seems to be brought up a lot. And, of course, I can't exactly remember it, but I can remember how it sounds. And I think you're going to be able
I know who it is already, I think.
Abuye.
Boye Mafe?
Boom, Abuye Mafe. Yes, that guy.
Yeah,
a lot of people are talking about that guy, and since he's in that defensive end position, he seems like he'd be the one to go after in the first round. So
yeah, I like Mafe.
That's why I've got defensive end number one. Number two is going to be in that secondary. We've been talking about it this whole time. Is even before we got Reed, that does fill in a big hole there. But like you said, with the Sorensen being out, and so I'm going to have to say in that secondary, it's going to be the cornerback position. So that's two, cornerback, okay. And then that nickel position that Sorensen had, that's number three. They're all on defense right there.
Yeah.
When we talk about that number four, that'd be the receiver, and that might even jump into the second round. So that actually might be number two. So, but that defense, gosh, you just got to think about filling in all those holes for Mahomes because you have the best quarterback. But at the same time, you've got to be able to protect him and give him some targets to throw to. Well, it's good to see we have MVS on the team, and that kind of throws it down to number four for the receivers. So with our number five, that would have to be the third spot in linebacker. Yeah.
Okay. We're not too far off. Like defensive end's definitely number one for me. I'm right there with you. Like for one, I don't think Frank Clark is starting caliber at this point. So that means we definitely need a spot. Dana and Kendo, I don't think either one of them are like Dana's not. I don't think he's ever going to be starting caliber. He's a good ball player, but he's a rotational piece. Kendo, we don't know what we have. So undoubtedly defensive end has to be addressed. I would definitely like to see that be in the first round. I think Mafe is a great pick if we stay at 29 and 30. I have talked about in previous episodes that there's a couple of defensive ends, if they start to fall and they fall into those late teens area, such as Kayvon Thibodeau, he would be an option, or Jermaine Johnson. So those are two names. Like if you see us trading up, pay attention to if Kayvon Thibodeau slipped or if Jermaine Johnson slipped. Those would be two defensive ends we could potentially trade up for.
Okay, sounds good.
Cornerback as well, because we only have three corners that are like legitimate NFL players. The other guys are practice squads.
Yeah, and Boodle, DiCaprio Boodle.
I do like Boodle, but is he ready? Like I don't want to count on him yet.
Who knows?
So cornerback's a position of need. I put receiver at number 3. Yeah. I feel like the safety spot we can kind of get by with.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to focus all on defense first and then save the offense for later in the draft. You do kind of want to stagger it to where you're filling in on both sides of the ball.
I do have an interesting option the Chiefs could go with that actually fills two needs at once.
Yeah,
Daxton Hill out of Michigan. He is listed as a safety, but this past season, he played majority in the slot at cornerback. So he's kind of like Snead, because Snead was a safety in college, but he was able to play the kind of nickel role in the slot as well. We brought him in and we just play him in the slot. But I think if we brought in somebody like Hill, if we're going, too high and a nickel package with 3 corners, we can put Hill in the slot. But if we're going to go 3 high, we can slide him back into that third safety spot. So he could help fill a couple of needs all at once. So he would be a very interesting selection that we could go with to help kind of limit the amount of needs that we have.
Yeah, it would be nice to have the best of the both worlds player to where you got somebody's speed for the top of the defense, and then you also have his skills to be in the nickel and make that hard hit and get physical with somebody, even line up with a linebacker and whatnot. So to find somebody with I would like to find somebody with some good size and speed together in that package. And if you say that he's the man to do it, hey, I'd be excited to look forward towards his name when the little ticker's running across the bottom of the board. So.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, Daxton Hill fills a couple needs for us. And then after that, so wide receiver would fall there. I'd say safety after wide receiver.
Okay.
And then lastly, I'm on the same page with you of linebacker is kind of last. We have two that are very solid. Mm-hmm. We need a third one. And if the third linebacker is the quote unquote weakest player on the defense, I'm okay with that. That's probably where I would prefer the weakest player to be as a third linebacker spot. Mm-hmm. So granted, can we upgrade there? Yeah, we can, but I think that's the least of the 5 positions as far as need goes. Now, we do have 2 picks in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Now, the way I look at it, your first, second, and third rounders, you're trying to get somebody that could potentially be a starter. And if we hit on that, you're looking at 6 starters right there.
Well, we got a lot of holes to fill, so we would love that and appreciate it. So
yeah, it'll be very interesting. I mean, watching this draft, anytime it pops up and it says trade, it could be the Chiefs at any given moment. Yeah. We have so much draft capital. We could be moving up. We could be moving back. Like we could be going a lot of different routes in this draft.
The highest I saw was possibly the 20th spot, like you said on your last episode, was maybe with the Dallas Cowboys moving up to that 20th spot.
It's the Steelers at the 20th spot.
Oh, the Steelers. That's right.
The Cowboys was a later round draft or trade, but first
getting
round
rid of our 7th.
Yeah, the Steelers have the 20. Now, the thing to pay attention to in this draft is when do the quarterbacks go? Mm-hmm. Now, it doesn't matter to us as far as us drafting one, but it matters as far as like the more quarterbacks that go, the better players that we need fall to us.
Yep.
And I think the Steelers definitely have their eye on quarterback Malik Willis out of Liberty. So if he falls to 20, there's no way they're trading out. They're going to go ahead and take him. But if he's already off the board, that's when they become a trade candidate for us. You know what I mean? So a lot of dominoes have to fall for us to then make those moves.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. It's coming up just a couple more weeks. Maybe 3 weeks. Yeah.
Let's get a quick check-in on the Royals game, see if anything has happened here. We're in the top of the 6th. It is still 3-6. St. Louis is up. And it's like nobody on, nobody out. Clean slate. And Benintendi is actually the one up to bat. So
run on. Hopefully you can get something started.
Lead it off. Definitely. Hopefully, get something going here for us. So Benintendi's up right now. We got Perez on deck and then Carlos Santana in the hole. Hopefully we can get something going. Michael Taylor's 2 for 2 today.
Yeah. He did a great job on these last couple of games at the plate as well. He got he went at least 2 for 2, maybe 3 for 3 in this last one. So that just continues his streak right there. So that's good. That's going to get his average way up, because like you said, early in the season, you get on that roll, your average is just going to skyrocket. But you can't get down on yourself either. Like Salvador Perez, his average is 167 right now. You can't look at that like that's going to be your average at the end. So,
right.
Yeah.
Benintendi flew out to center, by the way.
Yeah, same goes as your ERA as well. You got Bubic. His ERA is like 68.9 or something.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Yeah, I had to remind my umpire that means your ERA. If it's that high, that means on an average, if you pitch 9 innings, you would have given up 68 runs. That's what that means.
We should have just tried to get it. We should have just given him a complete game. Just let him go at it and see.
Oh, no. It was bad enough. 17.
Save your bullpen.
Yeah.
No, that was terrible.
Well, at the same time, you're really wanting to know how this bullpen goes and how they look there on the mound, especially Jackson Kowar. But although he got sent down to the minors, it wasn't really because of his performance. It was mainly because we just needed to get some roster moves made. And we got Joel Payamps on his place. we'll see how Jackson Coar does in the minors, and he's got some things to work on, and we'll most likely see him. But yeah, Daniel Lynch, he'll get the start today. I hope he's doing okay, or if he's still in the game. I doubt it, being 6 runs on the board for the Cardinals and being a starter. You usually don't find yourself still in the game at that point. They really want your ERA to be about 4 or below. So once you break that 4-run mark as a starting pitcher, it's about time to bring in the reliever at that point, and hopefully the reliever isn't brought in with what they say ducks on the pond, meaning bases loaded with runners on the bases, because it just brings more pressure on the reliever, and then those runs they all get charged to the starter. They're not his runs, they're not his earned runs, but
except the person on first, right? Doesn't the person on first go to the new pitcher? It's if they're in scoring position, that goes against the
and every batter that he faces afterwards. But it's just a bad domino effect in that aspect right there. So you'd love to just get a good final solid inning out of your starter, and then put your reliever in to start an inning. That's the best way.
That's ideal.
You don't want to bring your the pitching coach out there to settle him down and it not work, and then you run your manager out there to signal for the bullpen in the very high pressure time. Unless you're kind of playing a matchup, right? Yeah,
it's got lefty coming up, and you have a guy in the bullpen. It's perfect for a couple lefties.
Yeah, a lot of managers will even get desperate at that point to where, okay, let's play, and they bring on the lefty-lefty matchup, and then that's it. They'll take them just for one batter, and then it's another guy up for a matchup on him, and that way they can really get a close to that inning quick.
Lynch just got pulled in between innings, so we do have a reliever coming in to start off the bottom of the 6th. So Lynch did pitch through 5. It looks like, from what I'm seeing. I'm on a website kind of watching the game cast here, just so you guys know where I'm grabbing my info from.
I really wanted to see him do good because he's one of our young guys. He's in our 5th spot in the rotation, and it came down to the wire. It did come down to the wire when it came down to that 5th spot, but through the minor leagues, through spring trainings, it seems like the minor leagues when they play in those stadiums. But through the spring training, they had one thing in mind when it came down to the pitching staff. And even Dayton Moore will tell you last year, and I had this on my episode, it was one of those stats that just stuck out, and it was first pitch strikes. We were worst in the entire league on first pitch strikes. We didn't get them. We didn't have them. We didn't put pressure on the batter. We was always giving them a batter's count. So that was an emphasis that we have strictly for this year and starting out, and that's what's going to make you the roster. If you showed that you can pitch first pitch strikes like Jackson Coar did, you get that start, and he did that, and that's what they want to see.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you think obviously we're at 500 at the moment. We're down 6-3, so let's not even take this game into consideration yet. How do you think we're going to look at the end of the first month if you just had to guess? I mean, do you think we're going to be above 500, at 500, or below it by the end of the first month?
I'd be happy at 500 because the Royals generally either do one of two things. They either have a bad April or they have a great April. I'm serious. You go back and look at the stats. Sometimes we'll get on one of those hot streaks and just start off the year really good. And some other times we'll just start off really bad and we just got to play catch up the rest of the time. And we definitely don't want to play catch up early. This is not the season, not the team to do that. We want to get a good head start on these White Sox because they're going to be persistent. They're going to have a good year. I can't really say too much about the Twins and the almost said Indians, the Guardians. Yeah. I'm going to mess up that so many times.
Oh, yeah.
Or the who am I missing? The Tigers. But I don't see much out of them. They're going to mess with us here in about the 3rd, 4th place, and we're going to mess 2nd place. We're going to go back and forth in the standings on that, but everybody's picking the White Sox to win the division. So what we want to do is win those series when we play the White Sox, and we're going to see them after the Detroit game here pretty soon. So
okay.
Yeah, they're about our 4th or 5th series into the season. We'll get our time to see them. Like I said, we're in our division. They've cut down some division games this year because they've got more interleague play. So we're going to be playing the National League a lot more. So we did have 16 games apiece for our division opponents, and now it's probably cut down to about 12. So.
It's like 12, yeah. I like that they're doing more international, more AL versus NL, being able to play some other teams that you don't normally get to play on a more regular basis, every couple years or whatever. So I do like that. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you'll definitely get to see your favorite players and favorite team at Kauffman at least once every 2 years. So we'll either play them, of course, away, and then that next year you can guarantee that they're going to play you at home that next year. So it's going to alternate back and forth. So that way it really does get out and it promotes the game. And, of course, they're just trying to expand it and make it more appealing for everybody. And there's so many things that they can do to do that, and they're doing a lot. Like one of the cool things that they do just to revolutionize the game and kind of compare it to the NFL is they're letting the umpires get on the mic and say, Kansas City is challenging the play on the field, and kind of getting more to the crowd, because you never heard the umpires talk.
Not unless they're yelling to kick somebody out.
Yeah. Right. It was like the little hamburger helper guy, and he finally says something. You're like, a hamburger helper guy doesn't talk? What's going on? But also, another thing that just I forgot about, man. I was watching that extra inning game with the Royals when it was 0-0, and it's in the top of the 10th, and I'm watching. I'm looking. How did the Guardians already have a runner on second base? What happened? What I missed? And then I didn't catch up, and Witt made that awesome play down the line, and I swear he didn't make that throw on his butt. He didn't make that throw on his feet. He made that throw in the middle with nothing, and he got it. He got it there. It skipped one time, but Salvi made that backhand stop up, get him out.
It reminded me of that play that Mahomes had in the Super Bowl against the Bucks, where he was running to the right and getting tackled and just kind of like laid himself out like horizontally while he threw. Yeah, that play reminded me a lot of that, but like the baseball version of it.
Man, imagine seeing a poster of that split side by side. I would love to have that. But
we should make that.
He was able to continue the inning, and Dozier got that base hit, but that was after the fact that I guess Nicky Lopez, they started him off at second. Then that's when I realized, when the Royals set a guy out on second, that that's one of those rule changes. You start off with a guy on second on extra innings. I loved it. I didn't like it at first because I thought to myself, man, just a single would end the game. Just a single. But amazingly, it just adds pressure to the game. And besides, it's extra innings. We want this stuff to be over with, and we want to declare a winner quick. Let's get it on. And amazingly, it didn't really end with just a single. There was a lot of compelling things that were involved, like maybe a walk, a steal here, a little blue pit, one of those plays by Witt to get him out and continue an inning. That obviously wasn't quick, but with the Royals, we made it seem pretty quick. It was just a couple plays. We had that Dozier hit, and then after that, Raul Mondesi was able to get that hit up the middle and become the hero and get us a 2.
Is that what it goes by, is Raul?
Oh, gosh, I'm so old. I keep talking about his dad. Adalberto.
Had to call you out on that one.
I said it a couple times on my show, and I had to go back and edit it and like, gosh, I said Raul.
I've heard you call other people out for doing that, so it's funny that you did it, actually.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely look forward to a good year from the Royals. They'll have their ups and downs. Stick with them through the downs, because the ups will come back. We'll be able to see, the Whit Merrifield show. It'll get itself going as the year goes on. Let the young man get his feet underneath him, and we can have a good year for the Royals this year. And over the next month, we'll really see how well they start to progress. And Chiefs wise, again, we have the draft coming up, so we'll get to see some of the new faces that'll be coming to the Chiefs. And with that being said, again, keep your guys' eyes out for the Fantasize This show here on Stadium Drive Sports. It will be debuting in May, and we're going to start off by talking about rankings. We're going to talk about sleepers. We're going to talk about building your draft board and draft strategy. So we're going to give you guys a lot of content leading up to your fantasy drafts. And if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to send us an email. You can always email us with questions, and then we will talk about them on the show. and answer your guys' questions for you. The email address right here, stadiumdrivesports@gmail.com. Feel free to send us an email with any of your questions. Once the season does start for the NFL, we'll be doing shows for you on a regular basis on Fantasize This. We'll be having shows for, rankings for the week for each position, waiver wire targets, the sell high and buy low candidates, the sit-em and stardoms for the week, and then we'll also do some Q&As. Like I said, email your questions over, and we'll be answering your questions for you guys as well on Fantasize This right here on Stadium Drive Sports. Sean, anything else that you needed to get out before we call it a wrap here today?
Yeah, I'd like to emphasize more on the fantasy football show. Also, I'd love to have some rankings, like some top 5, top 10 on the positions, and it'd be interactive to where we get your input as well in the comments, and it helps us kind of figure out how the rankings should go, because this is what we do. We want your emphasis, we want your opinions on this, and it makes you a part of this show that way. And also, you always want to draft a defense with your first pick also. And stick with me for more advice. Just kidding.
Sean, you're grounded. Sean just got himself kicked off of Fantasize This. Good work, Sean. No, but we really will. We'll bring you guys some real strategies that will truly help you with your fantasy football. So if you guys do want to win your fantasy league, you want to bring home the prize and bring home the pride, Fantasize This. We got you guys covered through and through. But I appreciate you guys tuning into the Combo Show Live. Again, my name is Kevin Britton. I am the host of the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive. Be sure to tune in every Sunday and Wednesday for all your Chiefs content. Subscribe, like, and share. Sean, one more time, let them know.
Hey, Mondays, Thursdays, and catch up with the Royal side. Mondays and Thursdays, the Royal Way, Stadium Drive Sports, one spot. YouTube.
Absolutely.
Go check it out.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys tuning in. You already know what I'm going to say. Till next time.